station in Old Block, by Michelin Tires, because so much is riding on your time, and by all the great barbecue products and supplies at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop. I know you've got questions and we've got answers, so pick up the phone, 423-267-1023, and let's talk some barbecue.
All right, everybody, welcome. Happy Friday night here in Chattanooga. Welcome to the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW. You can get us by calling 423-267-1023, 423-267-1023. This is where we gather every Friday night at 7 to talk about the one thing we do love, and that is barbecue. If you got questions, buddy, I got answers, or I'll have people here that have answers, and we'll make it a fun start to the weekend. Everybody's getting ready to cook, and everybody's getting ready to barbecue this weekend, and this is where we start. If you got questions, hey, Steve, what do I do here? I got guests on tonight. They'll be they can answer questions too. All kinds of fun stuff for the next hour right here on Talk Radio. Our broadcast partner is Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook, the #1 destination for question answers. And even if you want to do a little post and brag a little bit about your food, if you got one of those big old hamburgers, like one of the big hamburgers, you know what I'm talking about, Joe, one of the big hamburgers, you can take a big picture of it and put it on there. Joe Varner's back at the radio station producing the radio side of things. Sitting next to me is Aaron Carver here. He's producing the Facebook side of things. And back at his house is Jeff Maxwell. He is monitoring the chat. So if you want to get in and talk some barbecue and stuff in the chat room, by all means, go right ahead. Jeff will be there to help you waddle through it. We're in touch, so you be in touch too. You can follow the Owl's Nest Barbecue on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And don't forget the Owl's Nest podcast available on Spotify. 267-1023. That's our number. You call in. Joe will answer the phone, put you on the line, and we'll talk about barbecue with you. I've got two great guests tonight. We've got Dennis Roby in the first half, and in the second part of the show, we've got Elizabeth St. Clair from Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery down on Main Street. But first, we're going to get to my buddy Dennis Roby, a fellow Udawayan/Harrison barbecue force in the north part of the county. What's up, Dennis? How you doing, man?
How's it going, Steve? Y'all doing all right tonight?
I was doing great. I've been anxious all day to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
You know, Dennis, I don't know if you remember where we first met. It was at the little barbecue contest over at Virginia College. You remember that?
It was. Yes, sir. That was my very first competition.
Yep, we met that Friday night, and we came back Saturday, and we talked some more. And after I got to talking with you a little bit, I found out what a unique guy you were. And tell everybody about your background. You know what you do now, and how you got into barbecue, and the unique thing about you. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I'm a fabricator/TIG welder. I've been at a company that was started here in Chattanooga in 1969, of the name of Sylvie Metalworks. Mm-hmm. And we pretty much build anything you can think of for restaurant or the medical side of stainless steel. So countertops, tables, sinks, fume hoods, a lot of medical, nuclear, military background, and a very, very large amount of restaurant kitchens. So I've been around the kitchen aspect for a little over 13 years now, and I've also worked in several kitchens, you know, growing up in high school and whatnot. But where I met you was Virginia College. I had just graduated from there because at the age of 29, I decided to go to culinary school.
Now, Dennis, what made you want to do that? Because that's an unusual career path at that age.
It was. I've always had a passion for food. I love to eat. I love to experiment. My mom was a phenomenal cook. She taught me a lot of stuff, and I loved having dinner parties and whatnot. And I really wanted to further my education on that. And Google can only get you so far. I mean, you know, come on, you can Google all the recipes you want, but to get really true hands-on experience, you got to get in there and get taught something by a instructor of some sort. And we had very, very awesome instructors at that college. One of them is Nick Sears, which you know, and he was my instructor, and he's a phenomenal barbecuer, chef, and a friend. But it was just something I really have a passion for. Barbecue, smoking, you know, anything food oriented. You know, I love sausage making, you know, jerky making, stuff like that. It's just I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's you're right, and Nick is a great guy. I think you even I think the not only did you go back to school, but I think you graduated first in your class, didn't you?
I did, yes, sir. I
so,
did.
Yeah.
That is correct.
And I know you're too
Yep.
you're too humble to admit that, but somebody had told me that, and now. Were you still working at Sylvie at that time when you were taking these classes?
Yeah. Yes, I was. So I was working, you know, 40, 50 hours a week at my normal job, and then going to school from 5:30 to 10:30 at night for 9 months straight. And
Wow.
then once I graduated, we had an externship, which is pretty much externship. You got to work for free. So I was working about 30 hours a week at Aaliyah restaurant downtown, Aaliyah Italian restaurant downtown. And so I was working, you know, my normal job, and then going there and working weekends and nights. And it was a test for sure, to say the least.
Well, it sounds like it was a test. Sounds like you were doing nothing but working and going to school, and I know you're a tremendous family man, and I'm sure you were making time for the family between those things. Did you think you maybe wanted to change careers and go work at a restaurant or own one?
Well, so that was always the idea in the back of my head was, you know, do I want to work in a restaurant or do I want to run a restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked in restaurants. I've worked on both sides. I've worked in the front of the house. I've worked in the back of the house. And I've worked in some really, really cruddy restaurants, and I've worked in some really great restaurants. But I don't think that, you know, financially, and you know, it's sad to say, you know, financially, you know, working in a restaurant that's not yours, you know, you're cooking somebody else's food, which is great. You know, there's some great chefs out there that do a wonderful menu, but I kind of just told myself, you know, if I do this, I want to cook for fun, for sport. I absolutely love doing the competitions, you know, with you and everybody else around here, and I'm really looking to further that competition life outside of the city limits. So we decided to buy a food trailer, and right now we're in the middle of buying the food trailer, or we're in the middle of building the food trailer. I apologize. And so we're about probably 3 or 4 months shy of having it completed. My garage is full of all the equipment. I just have to get a little more time to finish it up, and then we'll be on the road for, you know, setting up for festivals and have a little more easier setup for competitions, because you know as well as I do, you know, getting to a competition at 5 a.m. to set up tents and canopies and getting your smoker going is kind of a pain in the butt. So
yeah, it's hard. People don't realize how hard the barbecue sport is, and it's like you read my mind, Dennis. That's where I wanted to go with this. So tell me, what have you got? What's Full Throttle? You know, we didn't compete last year hardly any. So what's in the arsenal that you're getting ready to unveil?
So we bought a 2019 20-foot enclosed food trailer, concession trailer with a 6-foot porch on it. We have the Southern Q Limo Junior, and so we'll have that on the back of the porch. I also built, which I think you've seen pictures on Facebook, I built a custom Santa Maria grill, which hopefully people listening that are barbecue guys know what a Santa Maria is, but we'll have that to use for certain festivals as not only a piece of equipment to use to cook, but actually a conversation piece, because it is a very unique Santa Maria. And then we have a full-blown kitchen. We'll have the fryers, the griddle, the flat tops, a 7-foot hood. So we'll pretty much be able to do any festival we would like to do, and any type of food we would like to do. We'll have a 6-foot refrigerator inside. So we're we're really looking to expand and really bring the quality of food and the type of food that I want to bring to Harrison, Chattanooga, and the surrounding areas.
So you're planning on trying to earn some money with this thing, along with competing.
Yes, that's correct. So there's a lot of festivals up in Dayton. Weekly, you have the Chattanooga Market. You have now the Collegedale Market, and then they just opened up the food truck area in Chattanooga this weekend. Yeah, and so there's you probably remember a few years ago when trucks were starting to kind of get big, Chattanooga really didn't help them out. There wasn't a lot of camaraderie with the city and the food trucks. So I was like, man, is this really the right time to do it? And then all of a sudden, I guess they realized that, okay, people really want the food trucks. First of all, because again, COVID, people, restaurants are doing to-go orders or pickups or half seating.
Yeah.
So I think people want to be able to grab and go. And not everybody wants to go to Burger King, for a drive-through or Hardee's. Somebody might want to drive through and get maybe some barbecue, or maybe some sliders, or chicken on a stick. I mean, just grab and go things that is a little bit different, than their normal go-to restaurants that they would on the way home.
All right, Dennis, we're going to enough about the hardware and everything. Let's smoke and grill something now, okay? The Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes, sir. Please.
The Super Bowl is Sunday, and that means super food. Give us the Full Throttle barbecue game plan for my Sunday snack table at my humongous Super Bowl party we're going to have.
Well, just remember to keep it 10 people or less, and you won't get in trouble. So when you go to a Super Bowl party,
I'm with you.
Yeah, you always think of finger foods, and that's what I always go to. You always go to grab and go. You don't want to miss the game. You got your dips, you got your cheese platters, your vegetable platters, your meat trays, charcuterie platters.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, a Super Bowl party is not a Super Bowl party without the two main ingredients, and that's wings and poppers.
Oh, I didn't even think of poppers.
You got to have the poppers, but you got to have the wings. Are not only are they extremely versatile. You can make them any way you want. You can have the spicy, you can have the sweet, you can have the dry. You can have them with any flavor you want. And then with the poppers, I mean, they're just again, you can do different takes on them, and it's not just the same thing. If you want to add, you can add. If you want to take away, you can take away.
Give us the Dennis Roby Full Throttle barbecue recipe for poppers, because I forgot all about them, and those things are great.
You got to love the poppers. So your normal popper recipe is you got your jalapeno, you got your cream cheese, you got your bacon. That's your three ingredients that you need to make a good popper.
That you can live off of the rest of your life too.
Correct. Right. Exactly. But again, you know me, I can't just do simple. I have to go extreme with it. So 90% of the time, my go-to popper is we'll take, a good jalapeno, good size jalapeno. We'll slice it in half, get the seeds out. And then you'll take a good cream cheese, Philadelphia, and get it kind of cooled out, get it a little bit where it's a little bit good to handle. Mm-hmm. But I always do fresh garlic, and I'll do either sharp cheddar or some type of extra little pow of a cheese. Gouda, smoked Gouda is phenomenal in it, but sharp cheddar is, it's a cheap, easy cheese to grab, and it just adds an extra characteristic when you take a bite of it. So you got your two cheeses, you got your fresh garlic. I usually add, and I'm not trying to name drop here, but I usually add some Grill Addiction in there, because that's just I love Grill Addiction. It's Butcher Barbecue's Grill Addiction is phenomenal.
It is good.
And I'll add a little bit of that in there for your spices and a little bit extra seasoning, and then a little dash of brown sugar.
And then what do you
put it in there?
Put them on the smoker for how long?
Well, it kind of differs on, of course, how fatty the bacon is, but I usually run it on smoker for about 250 to 275 for about an hour and a half or so. I really watch for that bacon to render down. And I kind of like to get a little bit of a I don't want to say a char, but I kind of like to get the edges of that jalapeno kind of wrinkly.
Yeah.
Ooh, and and they're great. I mean, you just grab them and go, and there's so much flavor packed in there, especially if you get a good jalapeno that has a little bit of a bite to it, and then you get that fatty, salty bacon. It's just a great pair.
Well, Dennis, that sounds great, and I can't. You're welcome to bring some over next time you. When you cook them up, bring some by the gas station, okay? And I'll swap you. I'll swap you a tank of gas for 12 poppers. How about that?
There we go. Sounds great.
Dennis Roby, thank you so much, man. You're a prince, and I appreciate you being here on the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3. And I can't wait to see you and to compete against you in that table. And I just can't wait for you to come in second place to me again this summer down in Cambridge Square.
I've been practicing hard. All
right, Dennis, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll be back in just a little bit. You're listening to the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3. When we come back, our next special guest, Elizabeth St. Clair, co-owner of Charlie's Barbecue on Main Street. Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery on Main Street. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Aaron, you go ahead and call Elizabeth. Yes, Jeff Rice, I do look skinnier. I have lost a lot of weight through eating right. And
I can hear you down there on Mommy's phone.
Okay.
Eating right and through a lot of exercise, but you're right. Look skinnier. Jeff Al Salvage, good to see you. Steve Jordan, thank you. I have worked on the sound this week. George Gibson, how you doing, buddy? Up there in Decatur, good to see you. John McGuire's still on with us. Karen Phillips, how you doing, Karen? Tim Cloud, good to see you too. Appreciate everybody watching here on Facebook. You still with us, Dennis?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. We've got Elizabeth St. Clair on the line. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
We're good. How are you guys today?
Oh, we're doing great. I tell you what, we found when all the guys at the radio station found out you were going to be on the show, they were just so happy. You're a big favorite down there.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And I tell you what, we've got the person who's going to stay with us, Elizabeth, is Dennis Roby from Full Throttle Barbecue out here in Ottawa. He's a competition team, okay? He's going to stay with us, and we're just going to talk up some barbecue, okay?
Sure, sounds good.
Sounds good. Fantastic. Perry Collins is joining us here on Facebook. Good to see you, Perry. Going out to Chattanooga and all over the United States on Facebook and right here in Chattanooga on Talk Radio 102.3. If you wonder what it sounds like on radio, it's easy. Just go to WGOW.com and you can hit the Listen Live icon and you can listen to us on the radio anywhere in the world on the Talk Radio WGOW.com website. So we'll be good. We'll be going back on in just a little bit. Were y'all busy today, Elizabeth?
We were very busy today. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Oh, good.
It was nice to see customers in the building.
Oh, that's fine. Okie doke. Is he on the line, Joe? Okay. We'll get to him just after we introduce Elizabeth. We got one caller on the line. Elizabeth, I'll introduce you, and then we'll go to John on the telephone, okay?
Sure.
Sounds good. Aaron, you're killing me. You're going to hit the wrong button. What's going on here? Just don't lose the radio connection. Well, that's a weird picture. Well, at least we got a picture up, so that's okay. Give it a little time to maybe just spread out. We'll be getting back online just a little bit here, guys. Elizabeth, I hope all those people that liked your post will listen tonight and watch.
You turn to us.
I hope they will too.
Double
I
Three
shared
Radio.
it on my personal and business.
Talk Radio
30 seconds.
103.
All right, we're back. Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3. Dennis Roby with us, and our guest coming up this part of the show is Elizabeth St. Clair, probably the most popular person we have ever had on the show since it's been on radio. Elizabeth, how you doing? Co-owner of
I
Charlie's
don't know about
Barbecue.
all that.
Co-owner of Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery on Main Street. Liz, I don't know, what can you say? One of the most unique restaurants in Chattanooga, in a part of town that's not yet experiencing the full urban renewal. You're in a unique building, and I think it's an old gas station, if I'm correct. What in the world were you thinking?
We were a little bit crazy. We, it's a fantastic building. It's a 1950s gas station. It's been in the neighborhood for so long. We feel like God just led us there to that spot where we could try and make a difference in the neighborhood and in the people who live in the neighborhood's lives. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that building.
Well, that area of Main Street is such a unique area, and when I drive down there and I go by Ferger Place, in those areas, I can just I can almost close my eyes and look back into the 50s, 40s, and 60s and see the people in the street, the businesses, such a vital area to Chattanooga. Was there any that you know of, any barbecue places down there that have a historic value to that area of town, Elizabeth?
I've done a lot of neighborhood research, but I don't remember coming across another barbecue place.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of stories about the Mosteller's Wrecker building, car on top, and Ferger Place, of course, is a wonderful area, but I don't think I've heard any barbecue joints. I may be mistaken, though, so don't quote me on it.
Well,
we only moved here when we opened the building.
Oh, so you weren't from here? Well, how did you?
No, I'm from Manchester, and Wes is from Old Hickory, Mount Juliet area.
Well, tell me about your background in barbecue, and why did you pick barbecue to sell? Why not burgers, waffles, steaks, or even vegan or something like that?
Well, we've got a waffle. It's just a cornbread waffle.
Yeah. You've got everything. You've got everything down there.
Wes has always loved barbecue. He's been in the hospitality and restaurant business for over 39 years now.
Mm-hmm.
He had a barbecue restaurant in Nashville. Was it Nashville? Old Hickory. Old Hickory. Same thing to me. With his brother, and the economy crashed in the 90s, right, babe? And it just caused them to lose their business. They closed up shop, but he's always had a love for barbecue. I've always loved good old Southern grandma kind of desserts. So we thought, let's just look for a place where we can do that together.
Well, that's
kind of how we came to that.
Oh, that's a fantastic background. And, as you tell the story, our producer, Joe, is back at the radio studio. He's shaking his head up and down because he's been there. And Dennis, who is on the line with us, Dennis Roby, tell Elizabeth your experiences going to Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery.
A guy that works with us, and he's always constantly wanting to try these new places around our neighborhood where we work, which is only a few blocks from where you're located. And so I said, barbecue, our barbecue. So, me being a barbecue guy, I'm like, well, let's just go ahead and try, the next barbecue place. And it was a wonderful place to walk into. Like I was telling Steve, I love how the cooler doors are still there, and you can see behind them. And the suite and the bakery was just phenomenal. The barbecue was wonderful. It's just a really cool location. And you were mentioned earlier about barbecue spot. I'm pretty sure Steve remembers this, but it was called Master Blasters on the corner of Central and the Boulevard. And it was an open pit barbecue back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I don't remember that, Dennis.
I have heard of that one.
Master Blasters, wow.
Master Blasters, yeah. It was just a guy stood out there on the corner of Central and across from Ted's. And he had just a pit, and he would sell barbecue out of an open pit there.
Wow.
You know it's good then.
Yeah. It wasn't in the ground, was it, Dennis?
No, it was up on cinder blocks. It had a little cage around it, little fence around it. Yeah, it was up on cinder blocks.
You know, Elizabeth, when you guys bought that building and opened, it was, it was a super buzz, especially in that area, and that resonated all the way out into Ooltewah and the outlying areas about this couple that was opening up this restaurant in an old gas station on Main Street. That had, what are they thinking? You got a lot of publicity on that, and through your savvy media, social media skills, it just grew. What were the first months in business like at Charlie's?
Very slow.
Really?
We were just kind of feeling our way into it. We didn't know what to expect. The neighborhood just basically wrapped their arms around us and hugged us. They wanted something to eat in that spot, and they wanted that spot to become revitalized.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting few months for me, especially coming from a smaller town, because I've never experienced anything like this. Chattanooga is so into their mom and pop places and their small businesses. It was great.
And so you just hung in there. And when we spoke earlier this week, tell me when we got into the COVID thing, but before we hit the COVID area, when did it start to get some legs, and you and Wes kind of thought, wow, we've got something that's really unique going on here?
Well, we've always believed in it. We always knew we had good food. We just thought, we'll hang in there. And I guess it was January when we came back from Christmas break, and it was January 2020. We thought, this is it. We finally caught on. This is our upswing. And then, COVID.
Yeah. What did so you're about 2 years into it then, right? And,
yeah.
And then the COVID train comes roaring down the tracks, and then you're forced to go from open to, I guess y'all had to close totally at first, correct?
We never closed. We went out into the parking lot the day that they announced the closures to businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We went out into Wes is he's so good at thinking on his feet. He said, we've got a parking lot. A lot of people don't. We need to use our parking lot. And so we went back to old school car hop.
Oh, wow.
We waited on cars in their parking slots. We painted the parking lot with numbers on each parking spot.
Oh, my gosh. And so did he move the barbecue pit around to the front, or did he keep it where it was?
It's always been around back.
Okay.
Before, when we started renovating, there were no bathrooms in that building. There was a dry storage that was actually a 18-wheeler container. And so we moved it around back, and we used it for our smokers.
Oh, okay.
So we just went straight out to the parking lot, and, we're business owners. We're small business owners, and that's the thing you have to do. You have to scratch and, claw your way out of things. So.
Oh, absolutely. And that was going to be my next question. Like all great small business owners with rent, bills, payroll, and taxes, you have to find a way to make it work. And I'm convinced that nobody does it better than you folks in the restaurant business. I've been around a couple guys in some situations, and the chefs and the cooks are amazing people, the way they get stuff done. So I guess you just went to the carryout. You went to the carryout concept, and so tell me about. And then you watched on the articles I've read. You've watched something on television that gave you an idea. Tell us about that.
Are you talking about the plating change mission?
Yes.
So that was actually I come home after work and I'm always on social media because that's our biggest marketing tool.
Right.
So I was watching an Instagram live with Marcus Lemonis, and I just thought, well, I'm going to click on request to join because he was asking for business or restaurant owners.
Mm-hmm.
And I requested to join, and they accepted it. And so the next thing we knew, Wes and I were on live on Instagram with Marcus.
Wow.
What this mission is that he has a nonprofit fund called the Lemonade Fund, and they actually contribute to small businesses to get them started and get them going. But what we do is we take every donation that people make, it's $10 a plate, and we contribute those plates back into the community for food insecure people. Now, our focus was originally senior citizens, but we would like to feed anyone we can who's experiencing that problem. And it's been an eye-opening experience for me.
Well, that's a tremendous outside the box. And I noticed on your social media, you're always I'm going to call it fishing for other agencies or other people to contact you with ideas on who to feed next.
Yeah, we are. Not being from here originally, we don't know the areas that need it that much. Right now, we're delivering through Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels had to stop their distribution of hot meals because of COVID. So I contacted Stacy Burgess with Meals on Wheels locally, and she helped me gain an approval to go into Boynton Terrace and to Mary Walker, and we've been distributing 100 meals to each one of those per week for about 8-9 weeks now. We've done 2,000 meals for them, and along the way we've done community kitchen. We fed there.
Yeah.
If we heard about a church with an outreach, we donated meals to their shut-ins. But so far, it's been 2,000 meals.
Elizabeth, that's an incredible success story. I want you to hang on. We're going to take a real quick break here on the Barbecue Show Live on Talk Radio. When we come back, we've got Elizabeth St. Clair and Dennis Roby with us, our special guest on the show tonight. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about Charlie's Barbecue, about Full Throttle Barbecue, and just plain old barbecue in general. So stay with us on the Barbecue Show Live on Talk Radio 102.3. Oh, you guys sound great. Elizabeth, you sound great. Dennis, that was a great interchange with her. Did you figure it out there? Yeah, that's happened to me before. Did you try to add some text? Yeah, it for some reason it freezes up. I can't go back. We need to go back to here though. Yeah. For some reason I can't. Everybody watching on Facebook, our screen's frozen up on our overhead, so just bear with us. I can't remember what I had to do, short of turning it off and then turn it on. We don't want to do that, so we'll just bear through it. But you can listen. Everybody on Facebook, you can listen. Elizabeth Elizabeth, you're a great guest. I mean, you're so positive, and what y'all do down there is just so great.
Thank you. We try to be positive. We're trying to make a difference.
How's Wes feeling?
He's feeling okay. He's really tired. He's done too much this week, but you try to rest and the phone rings 16 times.
Everybody on Facebook, Elizabeth's partner Wes he had a heart attack this week, and he's home recovering. So we wish him, Wes. We wish you nothing but the best, buddy. That's tough.
Thank you.
One of my barbecue partners had a heart attack a couple years ago, and it's a scary thing.
It was very scary for me. We're very thankful for the firemen of Station 5 who live right over here, because we only live like 2 miles from the restaurant.
Yeah.
Station 5 has just been so incredible to us, and I can't thank them enough for convincing the hard-headed man to go.
Well, we're bulletproof, Elizabeth. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah. He's not feeling very bulletproof right now.
And we leap tall buildings in a single bound.
I think he does.
And we hit our thumbs with hammers, and we keep going, and that's what men do. Dennis, you haven't had your first heart attack yet, have you?
No. I'm still rocking.
How old are you, Dennis?
I'll be 35 this year.
Oh, gee whiz.
Oh, you're young.
I've got a pair of I got a pair of Nikes older than you.
Well, I just got my very first pair of prescription glasses
I saw.
yesterday.
You saw what I put. I said, "Welcome to the club."
Yeah. So I'm super ecstatic about that.
Years ago, I used to do I did a car show on WGOW Saturday mornings for 15 years, and I was literally sitting there when I had on my 40th birthday. I looked down and looked at the paper. I couldn't see it. It was blurry. On my 40th birthday, I had to go get reading glasses. It was crazy.
805-9100.
I just knew I had a problem.
2.3.
All right. We're back on the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3 with our special guests, Elizabeth St. Clair and Dennis Roby. We appreciate everybody listening to us on a Friday night. Thanks, everybody. If you're out driving around, if you're heading towards getting something to eat, if you're over in the Hamilton Place area, if you're over downtown, we appreciate you tuning in to Talk Radio 102.3 and listen. Tell your friends that, hey, on Friday nights at 7 o'clock, there's a barbecue show on Talk Radio, and Steve Ray does it. That guy from Ottawa, that gas station guy from Ottawa is on the radio talking about barbecue. What's up with that? That way you can listen every Friday night, and you'll figure it out that we've got a gas station, but we've got a barbecue supply store too. It's called the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop, and we have barbecue supplies. And what I mean by barbecue supplies, we have rubs, we have sauces, we have smokers, we've got pellet cookers, we've got gravity feed competition type smokers made by Southern Q Smokers. Dennis Roby is a user of one. I'm a user of one in competition, and everything in between. And we've got a great selection of pellets. So that's why we're here talking about barbecue, because we are barbecue guys, and we just like to talk about it. We're going to go back with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, tell me what kind of a smoker do you use at Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery on Main Street?
Well, we use the gravity-fed pellet smokers that are from Cook Shack. They're called Fast Eddie.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have two of them right now, and I couldn't ask for better quality. And people say that it's not real barbecue unless it comes off a stick burner, and I have to disagree with them.
Oh, Fast Eddie makes some of the best smokers in the world, much less the nation. I don't know if you've ever heard of Butcher Barbecue out in Chandler, Oklahoma. They use the same thing that you're using, and of course they're used all over the nation. What made you turn to the gravity feed pellet smokers, Elizabeth? Because that's kind of an unusual thing around here. Where did you find out about them, and how did you get hooked up with Fast Eddie?
Well, in Wes's years of food service, he had been to a what do they call those things? A trade show. And he had seen one being used at the trade show, so he knew that. He said, "I've had barbecue off of that. I know it's good quality." So that's why we went with Cook Shack, and gosh, I just couldn't say nicer things about them. The reason we use those gravity-fed pellet smokers is because if we did not, we would have to have someone out there all night watching the fire, soaking the fire, feeding it wood, and it's just an expense that's so astronomical. We didn't feel like we could make it with that.
Well, you're right, and the beautiful thing about the pellet smokers is, and I can't believe we've turned this into a pellet smoker commercial, but that is just fine with me, because we sell the Green Mountain Grill pellet smokers, and the beautiful thing about a pellet smoker is you set the temperature, and you literally forget about it. You put your food on, and it's like it's on automatic control, isn't it, Elizabeth?
Well, it is. You can have, like, we've had several times where there's been an electrical problem and we've come in to no meat in the morning. There can still be those problems, but gosh, you just can't beat them for what they are.
Now, are yours Wi-Fi enabled?
Yes, Wes says yes.
Okay. Well, then I
haven't gotten to that point.
Well, Wes knows what we're talking about then, where you can actually manage them and keep an eye on them with your telephone. And And that's right. People are going, what? That's right. You can hook your telephone, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth up to these smokers, and you can actually watch them from. And Wes will tell you from anywhere in the world, and you can actually set the temperatures of it. And why more restaurants don't use these things is a puzzle to me. Anything gravity feed, even the kind, Dennis, even the Limo Junior and the Southern Q limos that you and I use, they are they can be Wi-Fi enabled. I don't know. Do you have the Dennis? Do you have the controller that's Wi-Fi enabled?
Well, I had the DigiQ.
Yeah.
But I did not get the Wi-Fi one, just because, like Elizabeth was talking, barbecue off the stick burner. I came from a stick burner, and so I didn't want to go. I didn't want to jump fully into, well, I'm still going to sit here and watch my smoker, even though I don't have to, But the DGQ and the pellet smokers, they're phenomenal on holding temperatures. It's just you can't ask for a better product.
Elizabeth, what we're talking about, the Southern Q smokers that Dennis and I use in competition, what they basically are just a large pellet cooker, but the pellets are charcoal, and you put them in a chute, you burn them, and you light them from the bottom, and as the embers burn from the bottom, they drop embers. You put wood chunks in the bottom. You don't put sticks. You put wood, just big wood chunks, and the embers from the charcoal ignite the wood, and that's where you get your flavor. But they're controlled by a fan mechanism and a thermostatic control mechanism, and you can get them that are Wi-Fi enabled too. And a lot of restaurants are going to those as well, because you hit the nail on the head. You don't have to, you have to cook. What you've chose to sell, barbecue, and I know I'm not telling you and Wes anything, but that is the hardest. That is the hardest type of restaurant to run, is a barbecue restaurant, because you're basically cooking all the time, aren't you?
Oh, round the clock.
Yeah.
It's brisket overnight, it's pork butts overnight, it's ribs during the day. It's constant.
And you know yourself, and I hope Wes is listening. I'm sure he is next to you, because your brisket is known all over this county is some of the best brisket in town. And Joe's shaking his head up and down. Everybody, and I guarantee you, everybody listening is shaking their head up and down, going, "Hell yeah, it is!" And people say you cannot get that flavor with a pellet cooker, and I say, "Oh yeah, you can." It's like the old Toyota commercial from North Georgia. People say we can't. I say, "Oh yeah, you can." And if they knew that you were cooking on a pellet cooker, I think they would be even more surprised, because they probably think you're sitting back there, Wes, throwing big oak sticks into a big stick burner, sitting there overnight, drinking beer, looking at your smoker, hoping everything gets done, in the morning. But it's so smart of you to use those things and to manage your time, because they are expensive cookers. Am I not correct?
Yeah, this is Wes.
Wes.
Just a minute. Those things are about $7,000 a piece. And if we keep growing, we're going to need a third one here before summer.
Yeah.
But people always want to know what my cheat is, and you guys know what that is in our industry. What my cheat is with the brisket, and I said, well, we make our own rub, we rub it, and I put it in, and it doesn't come out till it jiggles. So there's my cheat.
That's a good one. So you don't wrap yours at any point.
We don't. We don't wrap them at all. Everybody has their own different method. Everybody thinks it's right, and you just do what's right for you, and that's what's been right for us.
Boy, truer words have never been spoken, Elizabeth, in barbecue. Everybody thinks their way is the only way, and if you don't do it my way, take the highway, and that is so wrong. I always tell my friends, there's all sorts of ways to get to Chicago. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yep.
There's all kinds of ways that you can do barbecue, and you don't have to wrap. And reason Wes isn't on with us, everybody, I'm sure everyone knows Wes had a little setback in health this past week or so, and he's recovering there with Elizabeth, and we're so glad Tell him we're so glad that he jumped on the phone with us, Elizabeth, because he's such a integral part of the barbecue operation down there. And like I said, the brisket is it's known all over town as some of the best brisket probably in the region. Now, what other meats are you doing in the barbecue realm other than brisket? Are you covering all of them?
Well, we've got, of course, my personal favorite is pulled pork because I was born and raised in a town that only had pulled pork. I'd never had brisket until the day we opened.
Wow.
We also do burn-ins. Burn-ins are extremely popular. I mean, I can't tell you how many pounds of burn-ins we cut a day. We do the smoked chicken breast, and we also do St. Louis-style ribs. But we do a weekly special where it might be, we might do wings one week. We might do just something completely different. We've done pork belly, just everything.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we've done smoked Juicy Lucy's.
Yep. Hey, hold that thought. We're going to take our last break of the afternoon, or the evening rather, and we'll be right back with Elizabeth St. Clair and Dennis Roby here on the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Our buddy Al Selvage is on Facebook, said he's been to Master Blasters before.
Okay.
He said it was a good lunch spot, yeah. Wes, have Wes ever heard of that, Master Blasters, in his conversations with the barbecue people in the area, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I've had a couple customers come in who I guess grew up in Chattanooga and have moved back. Said they used to eat at Master Blasters when they were younger.
I remember the name once you said it.
Yeah.
And they compared us to Master Blaster as as far as our food quality. I don't know exactly what they were. We're just all dry rub.
This place probably wouldn't have passed code.
Tell you what, it's hard to pass code anywhere anymore.
Hey, I hear you on that one.
Well, I tell you what, you on a nice spring day, you drive down 3rd Street, and all those places on the side of the roads probably wouldn't pass code either. But it probably the barbecue coming off of them pretty good though.
And those are probably some of the best places.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The little pop-ups are those guys those dudes can flat cook. But so can y'all.
Yes, they can.
And so can y'all. And I think that's great. I had no idea that you were using the Fast Eddies. A good friend of mine is David Bosca. He's in Chandler, Oklahoma. His son opened a barbecue restaurant called Butcher Barbecue. That's their brand. And he is setting the world.
I think I've heard of that.
He is setting the world on fire, and that's what they use are FMCs. They sure do. Or FECs. Fast
we
Eddies.
just love them.
They're great. They're great.
Real quick story week. Last summer we had a KC master barbecue judge come in from Kansas City, and he scored us very high overall, but he was talking about putting a pellet smoker in his backyard because he didn't have time when he was home to sit. And long story short, he said, I've never had barbecue that I felt like was really any good off a gravity smoker. And I said, well, come here. And I took him back in the smoke shack, and there sitting my gravity-fed smokers. He was like, I'd be daggone.
Yeah. Everybody thinks they've tasted it all, and they think they've got the palate that they can't be fooled.
Yep.
Frank Blair.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: you got heat, smoke, and meat. As long as you put those 3 elements together, it can come off a stick burner. It can come off of a gravity charcoal. It can come off of a pellet smoker. I mean, a kettle grill.
I agree.
Well, pellet smokers are using real wood.
Completely.
I mean, it's real wood. That's what people don't.
Correct.
They
Yeah,
don't
it's just
it's
smashed
real wood.
together. Yeah.
It's real wood. I'm a fan. I've just been using them a year, and I tell you what, that's what's on my back porch now. I took that Limo Junior off and put on two Green Mountain grills on the back porch.
But the other thing I was going to say earlier is, for restaurant purposes, that's a ingenious thing because not only, like she said, the expense of having a pit master to sit there and do a stick burner. Also, the consistency that you get out of a regulated smoker like that, you get the same quality, pretty much every time.
Absolutely. We got about 20 seconds. We'll be right back.
Radio 102.3 FM, the Talk Monster.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3. Welcome Wes Phillips joining us on the Facebook page. You can always watch us and hear us on the Facebook page too if you're out of town and want to join on. Just join to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page and you'll find us broadcasting there too every Friday night at 7. We've got Elizabeth St. Clair, her buddy Wes, who is recovering from a health setback. We've got Dennis Roby on the line as well, talking barbecue. Elizabeth, hand that phone to Wes if you don't mind, and we'll talk about what kind of flavor that y'all use on your barbecue. We got about 3 minutes left.
We actually use all hickory pellets.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing with our pellets is I make sure that they're nothing but hickory. There's no preservatives or chemical or anything in them. This summer I'm probably going to play with some salmon and different things with some different types of wood, but we're all hickory.
What brand of pellets do y'all use?
Cookshack.
Okay.
They make their own pellet as well, and they have their own yard. They're particular about it. They strip some of the the bark that's real bitter off of it,
mm-hmm.
and they pulverize it. So we just get that really good hickory flavor out of them. So,
but you're right, Ray.
We've had to dial it in.
I'm sure you've got it dialed in by now. So what? What's the Elizabeth? You said you had people sitting in the restaurant today, coming in and sitting down.
Yeah, we do. We have an outdoor covered patio area, but it's still pretty chilly some days. But so we have four. It's a small place, so we only have 4 tables inside.
Mm-hmm. So, but you said it was nice. We were talking at the break. You said it was nice to see people in there. What?
Yeah.
What are the expansion plans? I know you've got an. I know this isn't the end game. What are the expansion plans for your location?
You're funny. We have plans to possibly expand our patio seating a little bit, but we love that little building, and I don't know if we'll expand out of that little building or not. A couple of years down the road, we may be in Ottawa, we may be in Red Bank. It's right now. It's all a fight every day with COVID and restrictions, and so right now it's just a laughing matter.
Well, hey Dennis, I tell you what I'll do, Dennis. I'll back my trailer up, and you can back your trailer up to it, and we'll just let them work out of our trailers. How about that?
That sounds great. That's a plan right there.
It sounds like they can do a lot with a small space. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Wes, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. You just don't know how much I appreciate it. Dennis, you're what a great guest. You're so good at what you do, and we appreciate it so much. Next Friday night here on the Barbecue Show Live, we've got a special guest, Tina Cannon. If that name rings a bell, she won the American Barbecue Showdown on Netflix this year. Tina lives just down the road in Georgia, and she is going to be live here on the Barbecue Show Live, and we're going to be talking about Brunswick stew. That's right, Brunswick stew for Valentine's Day weekend. Where else can you get that other than the Barbecue Show Live here on Talk Radio? Until next Friday night at 7, this is Steve Ray for Elizabeth St. Clair and Dennis Roby saying good night and good luck, and we'll see you next Friday night. Thank you, Joe. Go ahead and punch them out on that one, Dennis, or Aaron. There you go. All right, Elizabeth, you're still with us, aren't you?
We are.
Okay, Dennis, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. We just usually do a little few minutes left over for our Facebook fans that are joining us. Elizabeth, we're just talking to Facebook now. We're not talking to anyone. There's no radio. The COVID thing. Were you scared? Were you and Wes kind of scared when it first came out, or did you just say, the heck with it. We're gonna hit the parking lot and do whatever it takes.
Listen, they came out, I can't remember what day it was, but I will never forget the day when they came out with the mandates and the shutdowns. And I'm pretty stoic. I try and hold it all in. And I had to go next door and sit by the landscaping company and just cry.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was it for us. I was like, that's it. We're done. You know, and of course, Wes said, let's go home. Let's think about it in the peace and quiet. Came home from an hour, and he was like, this is what we're going to do. And it was just like, you just do what you've got to do. Are we scared on an everyday basis? There's always that thought in the back of your mind, you know, who's got it, who doesn't, you know. We're trying to be particularly careful now that he has a health issue that he's recovering from, but we don't go anywhere other than the store and our home, so we feel okay in what we're doing and the practices that we're taking now.
You know, that's exactly, and Dennis, I don't know, I'm sure Dennis has got so much going on with his family and his work, but you know, that's the thing about this whole situation. It's been, the only thing we do now is we go to work and we go home. We go to work, we go home. I don't venture out hardly any. I just don't venture out that much. We don't go out to eat hardly ever, and you know, and that's what I miss. I miss the socialization. I miss the, hey, let's, you know, it's a Saturday afternoon. Let's drive down to Main Street and let's check out this Charlie's place. I just don't have that adventure, you know, spirit in me. Do y'all feel the same way?
Well,
yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Dennis.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I mean, you got to really think about, you know, the choices you make, because not only, again, the restrictions and whatnot, but you know, we still try to get out, you know, once every couple of weeks or something like that, to, you know, because I have two small children, so they get cooped up in the house, and they're just now going back to school. So we've been trying to get out, maybe go for a bike ride, just kind of get them out. And enjoy a little bit of the, you know, the old times, if you can say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we definitely miss, you know, the movie theaters. That's one of our things that we always did as a family. We go to movies, you know, once a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely miss a lot of that aspect of it.
And Elizabeth, I'm sure you and Wes on your days off would visit other restaurants to see what they have going on, just to do a little recon work, if nothing else.
We've been known to do a little recon every now and then.
Absolutely.
You know, now more than ever, we're making a conscious effort to support the local places. You know, our friends who are in the industry, we make sure we order takeout. If we don't go in to eat, we order. If we don't feel like we can leave the house, which is most Sundays, we're recovering from the week, we order takeout delivered. But it's always local. We want to make sure that we support other people the way that they support us.
We go to Hillbilly Willie's.
Yeah, we go to Hillbilly Willie's more than anything and pick up pizza because we love them.
Oh, they were out here in Ooltewah for years and years.
You couldn't ask for a few better people, you know, and they're having just as hard a time as everybody else. So that's what we make a conscious effort to do.
Have you ever heard George's daughter sing?
I have not.
I'm telling you, she has the voice of an angel. I'm not kidding. She has the voice of an angel. She is so talented. And George is a great. He's the number one. He's a great barbecue guy, and he's a great guy anyway. And he's a good business operator. But I know all you guys have just had such a tough time. Tell me about you were talking about a cornbread waffle. Tell me about that, because that. You know, Dennis, I'm always, you know, this barbecue thing. I'm not a cook or a chef, and I don't claim to be. But since I'm home so much now, I've gotten into chili. I've made a couple of batches of chili that have turned out pretty good, and I'm always looking for different types of things. Tell me about this cornbread, Elizabeth.
Well, you know, I spend hours and hours researching specials and flavors and what we can do. And last year I saw this thing on TV, and they were making something in the waffle maker, and I thought, how can I use that? And I thought, we'll do a cornbread waffle. Cornbread's cheap, it's easy, it's Southern, and it goes well with pulled pork or the other meat. So we take a simple cornbread mixture, cook it in a waffle iron, and top it with meat and slaw and a drizzle of barbecue sauce. And Wes is going to kill me now because we've talked about it, and we'll sell 5 million more.
Yeah. That's tough to put together, isn't it, Wes?
Yeah, it is. She came up at Thanksgiving. We made her cornbread dressing, and she decided we needed to do a cornbread dressing. Turkey on top. And we looked up, and daggum, we were having to run to Walmart, bought every waffle maker they had in there.
He hates my ideas.
Oh, that's. Let me ask you this, Elizabeth. Do y'all have smoked macaroni?
We have a macaroni and cheese. It's not smoked. It's macaroni and cheese, but it's good. It's made with our queso sauce. We're limited on space in our smokers.
Yeah. What about smoked meatloaf?
That's on our board for specials. That's on our radar. Wes wants to do a meatloaf and do burgers again. They're really popular.
One of the things, I'm sure you guys have run into the same thing through the coronavirus. It's just destroyed the workforce, and so when we put a special on, especially in the smoker, I have to teach them, and it'll take me, because I won't let anybody, when they start with us, I won't let anybody touch the smoker for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Right. And unfortunately, with my little heart attack episode last week, I'm afraid it's going to slow us down a little bit on some specials. But I'm going to try some salmon and I'm going to try and get our Juicy Lucy back on some point, and a smoked meatloaf. I want to do a whole smoked pork loin and slice it. So
he loves the meat. I love the trendy, so I'm always looking for trendy things that we can do, and he's always looking for different meat.
Well, Wes, you say you're talking about the Juicy Lucy. Everything that you want to do that's special is, it's hard as heck to do. The Juicy Lucy's take so much time to do. Instead of just a cheeseburger. I mean, I can see what you're trying to do. You're trying to take things that we all like and elevate them just a little bit and make them special. And I certainly respect that. But I'll tell you this, Wes, if you ever get in a jam and you need some food down there, don't you hesitate to pick up the phone and call me. I'll throw some briskets on the smoker for you, or pork butts on the smoker, and I'll get them done for you. And I'll get them down there, and you can doctor them up the way y'all like to do to get them served Charlie's Barbecue and Bakery style, okay?
Listen, man, I appreciate it. Be careful what you ask for.
I'm always looking for another income stream. I don't have enough to do I, Dennis?
No, that's all you need.
Between the gas station and the barbecue store and Competition Barbecue and cooking, I just need something else to take care of my time, guys.
Well, you're talking about Charlie's expanding. I believe you need to expand if you keep on with that barbecue pro shop.
Well, that's in the works, Dennis. That's in the works. Funny you said that. I got a quote. We're going to expand our warehouse space, and I got one quote, and it was more than I wanted to spend. So I had my contractor came back. We met Wednesday afternoon, and we're getting ready to. Watch out! I'm getting a Charlie horse. We're getting ready to do just that. We're going to have a warehouse. I want to get more into the fuel. You talk about pellets, Wes. I want to get bigger into the pellet game because that's where people that have pellet smokers, and I'm convinced that those are going to be the biggest thing coming down the pike the next 5 years are pellet cookers, and I want to be able to offer a whole lot of different flavors on those things, and different kinds of charcoal, different flavors, and that's what we're going for, Dennis. That's why we're going to build a new warehouse.
That's great.
Yeah, and
That's
then
great.
we'll put our smokers in that warehouse, and we'll have a better place to sell the smokers too. It's
That's great.
it's such a fun business.
I'd love for y'all to come out and kind of see what we do, and with the pellet smokers, it's kind of get the temperature and the time right, but it's like this time of year, especially spring, fall, winter. I'm having them adjust times and temperatures probably 3 times a week because of humidity and outside ambient temperature. Because what you set it at in the summer, you do it dead of winter, it turns into crap.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's definitely,
Yeah.
and even when it rains, I know, and Dennis, Dennis has been with me out there in some hell of a storms out there in Ottawa. Even when when the air gets misty, there's your cookers act differently. I remember one time we were at a contest down in Chatsworth, and it was like 18 degrees. It was in the middle of November, and a cold snap came through, and it was 18 degrees. And we were actually putting our meat in the cooler so it wouldn't freeze. That's how cold it was outside. And
That's crazy.
And our alarm, in the middle of the night, the alarm on our smoker went off. It was the temperature dropped in it, and of course, we're new at this, and we were really struggling, and because it was so cold, and we couldn't figure out why we couldn't get the heat out of our smoker. I thought, well, this piece of junk, when it gets cold, it won't work. Well, what we did not account for was when it gets cold, you use more fuel. We simply ran out of charcoal.
Yeah, we've experienced.
Yeah, and we didn't. I thought, well, these are insulated. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. And of course, we just filled it back up with charcoal. We just went on. It was great. But you live and learn. But you're right, Wes. The temperatures, that can change the profile of your taste in just a couple hours.
Yeah, it's like in summer we cook our brisket in 15 hours overnight.
Uh-huh.
When it gets really cold, because I will not cook any higher than 205, period.
Wow.
So our brisket, when it gets real cold, it may be out in the smoker 17, 18 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I would expect longer than that at 205 because that's really low.
Well, if the cook shack, their cabinets, they are so good at holding the heat. They don't let a drop of heat. They're so self-contained. Now, if I had a smoker that was letting anything out, I'd probably have to go up to 230 or 235. But I actually smoke at 2 different temperatures, real low at the beginning, and then go up to program it to go on up to about 205 midway through the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of people do it reverse, but I find out that the brisket's juicier if you do it at a lower temperature and jack it up a little bit through the process.
Yeah. Like I say, there's all sorts of ways to get to Chicago. Hey, y'all, thank you so much. We got to roll. Thank you so much, Dennis, Roby, for joining us. Elizabeth, St. Clair, and Wes, we sure appreciate y'all visiting with us. And let's do this again real soon, okay?
Thank you so much,
I would
Steve.
love that.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. You get well, Wes, okay? And we need to get you out to Ottawa sometime and feed you some barbecue, and we'll let you critique ours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve.
Make a trip.
I appreciate it very
Thanks.
much. Just go ahead and cut it. You'll have to turn it off. Just have to turn it off here. Over here. No, over there. There you go. Just turn it off. Power. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to save that first. Isn't that crazy? That is just crazy. The way that does that. I wonder why that does that.